and it's news, facts, and comments in conjunction with Major TV Let's Talk. We also have another platform, Generational Wealth Building. But we want to piggyback on talking about banks stealing your money part two. And I'm gonna let Cody read out the different fees that we didn't cover. We kind of like want to get in and get out, but after we got a few comments and what have you, and we want to just make sure y'all understand the bigger picture.
So just a simple Google search of bank fees and charges brings up a list of charges that fees that they charge you for your bank account. And I think this is for personal as well as business accounts. But the first one on the list is account maintenance fees. And these are monthly fees for keeping an account open. So just for having an account, they're holding your money, but they're going to charge you to hold your money, that part. Then they have ATM fees for using ATM that is not owned by your bank. They got overdraft fees for spending more than you have in your account, insufficient fund fees for trying to make a payment with insufficient funds in your account. That's interesting. We got to double back on that, Major.
Yes.
Excess transaction fees for exceeding the limit of transactions allowed for your account type. Whoa, read that again. Excess transaction fees for exceeding the limit of transactions allowed for your account type. Wow. Wire transfer fees for sending or receiving money electronically. Inactivity fees for not using your account for a certain period of time. You can't just save your money, got to use it. Lost replacement card fees for replacing a lost or damaged debit or credit card. And so that was that on that particular list. So I would be curious to know if there's other fees that the banks are charging you all that are not listed on that list. Um, Make sure you comment down below in that respect so we could, add that one to the list. So go ahead, Major.
Yeah. I just want people to understand that this is very big when you look at if you was outside the network of ATMs that you need to get money, and when you use an ATM that's not from the bank, they charging you, right? That's interesting. That's interesting. On top of that, you got the wire fees. You have a lot of different fees that we really need to just really kind of just to tune in a little bit because a lot of time we don't count the overdraft. Why? If that's the case, they shouldn't even. If the money not there, they should just you know refuse to allow you to purchase it, right? But they put the fees on top of that for a reason. And trust me, banks work as businesses. So as a business, so in their mind, they're trying to make a profit. And a lot of time, I'm not gonna lie to you, we kind of write off those $2 and $3 and $4 and $5. But imagine this happening weekly or monthly, and then you count the years and what have you. That can be a nice amount of money that you could have saved as opposed to letting the bank take it. And that's what I really wanted to talk about because I feel like we talked about a lot of things that was real in part one, but in part two, I think we should definitely talk about the fees because there are hidden fees that we don't know about, like for late charges and stuff like that. These fees can be up to $35. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you can call and ask for them to do a courtesy to remove the late charges. But if you keep incurring them, then they're not gonna waive it. But the late charges and stuff, the ATMs and stuff like that, wire transfers and all that.
So it's almost like, you're like I said, you're paying them to keep your money. I can understand the overdraft fee, right? Because that has a ripple effect on different individuals. But then to me, the overdraft fee is the same thing as insufficient funds fee. So I think that could possibly be a double charge, right? Because if someone's trying to withdraw money from your account and you don't have the amount of money in your account, then you're going to get that overdraft fee because now your account is being overdrawn, right? But then if so, when does my question is, when does overdraft turn to insufficient funds, or is that the same thing?
That's two different things. When they
I know it's listed, but I know it's listed as two different things, but it's the same thing: lack of money in your account.
well, the thing about it is you're being penalized for allowing somebody to take money out your account, whether you set up auto pay or you give them a check or something like that, and they're saying that the money not, and it's not them. I'm sorry, it's the other bank that charge a fee, a $29 fee. It's not the bank, it's the other bank that go after the money and it's not there. But if the bank itself release the money, that's when, if it's not, there's an overdraft fee.
Okay, so basically you're gonna get, what I'm saying is you're gonna get charged on both ends.
Yeah, well, the first one, you're not charged by your bank, you're charged by another bank because they went for the money and your bank said no, the money not there, and it's charged a fee for that. Insufficient
Okay, I
funds.
get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. So like, okay,
Insufficient
so
funds.
I don't, I guess I was kind of confused. I understand what you're saying now. So it's like, it says here, fee for spending more than you have in your account. It's like the bank will allow you to go ahead and spend it. They're gonna give you, like, say you purchase $50 over, right? So you're gonna have a negative $50 in your account on top of the overdraft fee. But the bank made good on that overdraft. They actually, they credited whoever you were buying from the $50, but they debited your account plus the overdraft fees. So then on the other hand, but then like if you wrote a check for insufficient funds, if you wrote a check to that same creditor for $50 and the bank returned it to them saying there was not enough money in there, then that particular creditor will turn around and charge you an insufficient fund fee.
And normally that be in the contract as well. Like they let you know up front, if
Right.
we go mess with, grab this money, it's not there, you're gonna be charged such fee, what have you. There's a lot in the fine print, they have to explain this to you. They just like go through it and whatever. And some things they put emphasis on, some things just run through it, just trying to let you know, go through the normal procedure of making sure you know what's going on. But I don't think they always been in your best interest, let you know everything. And sometimes like the Navy Federals, they'll hold up for you with that overdraft fee. If you let it just sit there for so many days, like let's say you overdraft a day and tomorrow, it's still overdraft. If you probably got a day or two, probably three will be pushing it. Because all in all always do that. Sometimes they give another chance to pay it within a day or two. And some people immediately attach it to it.
Now I remember reading an article that said that I guess it was the Consumer Protection Agency sued the banks for excessive overdraft fees. Like because they were charging more than one overdraft fee on the same monies. On that, let's say for $50, they charge you $25 overdraft, and then if you don't clear it up in a certain amount of days, they'll charge you another overdraft fee for this on the same money.
I mean, banks been cruel, been wicked, been very bad towards the community. And you know what's so sad? Each time they get bailed out, because they're gonna probably get bailed out now. I've been thinking about that, right? Now that the government will give them so many billions of dollars, right? Among the top banks that need it, and probably some smaller banks, just to save the economy, you know what I'm saying? And save the so-called people of this country, citizens of the country. But the problem is, and this one it's been called out, the banks will get all that money, but won't forgive you for your loans, and
That's right.
that's the problem. They've been forgiven by the government, but they don't want to be forgiven, right? So we still got to carry over. That's when they was talking about when COVID, when they was giving all that money to the banks or whatever, and they was talking about they're gonna look out for Wall Street, but not Main Street. Wall Street being the big business, the big banks, and Main Street being the overall public, and that's the issue that we're dealing with, in this country. It's like it's very unfair that when you're going through something, whereas you can't pay your bills, your credit being hit and what have you, you gotta fight tooth and nail to remove stuff in your credit, clean your credit up, and be paying so many $1,000s to get it done if you're not doing it yourself, to a credit repair company. And then at the same time, when you apply for loans with these very banks, of credit. They refuse to help you when they got help from the government, and it's just unfair. And the playing ground is so unequal. That's why you lobbyists and whatnot that be being paid off by banks and big business that go into Congress and get laws passed and what have you. Um, it's sad. The lobbyists and whatnot is sad where they got it set up whereas the big people won't get help, but the small people won't, and that's just a sad. That's just a sad shame.
You said something that was very interesting. You said that the banks will be bailed out. According to what I've been researching, they're not going to bail the banks out in the way that they did before by giving thousands of dollars, millions of dollars to them. They're going to be bailed out with a new system. It's called digital banking. And so then that's when they're to me is almost, and this is just my opinion, they want the banks to fail so they can introduce that cashless society and force the cashless society on people. Because if you have a bank account right now and the banks fail, FDIC is supposed to make you whole up to $250,000. But if the government don't have the money, then they can't come bail you out. And we already know, like we said before in the previous podcast, the Moody's have downgraded the bank. Has downgraded the United States credit rating from stable to negative. So remember, we read before about FDIC that you have to put your full trust and your full trust and faith in the federal government to insure your money. But if the federal government don't have money, then how can they insure your money? So when you say they're going to be bailed out, they're not going to be bailed out in the way that we think as far as petrodollar. They're going to be bailed out with a digital system. They're already trying to move us faster to a cashless society. Go into places and they don't even have change. So they tell you supposedly not have coins. It's a coin shortage. Again, we heard this before, but they trying to force you not to use cash dollars because it's in a minute, in my opinion, it's not going to be a such thing as a dollar bill. It's going to be all digital. You're going to need to have a debit card.
Well, it's been digital for the last some odd years.
But people still pay with cash, though, is what I'm saying.
I'm saying
moving completely towards a cashless society.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying, but we already like 70-80% already digital. We already there. The cash is this much. I'm just trying to. I mentioned that last time we spoke. Not on the. I think not the video we did on part one. I'm talking about. We've been digital. We've been well informed. We just haven't accepted it because cash transactions still taking place, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But my point is, regardless of all that, the banks will be bailed out. That's my whole point. In the end, we're gonna be the ones stuck with even when they convert and what have you. How they gonna address this problem with how we managing our so-called money and debt and what have you personally? Because they're still individualizing people in reference to their problems. You know what I'm saying? And even if you go in their system, they're gonna still have a system they're gonna have a check and balance. Now, as far as that's concerned, I think that when COVID came out, a lot of stuff like that kind of was coming to the forefront. People like, they're trying to make it one government, one currency, and all this, that, and other, right? That was being pushed out there. And like I said, it's not something new. People know. I think people don't know what to expect because government is such great liars. You know what I'm saying? And promote propaganda is just not healthy for our community, and not just our community, for the people abroad. You know what I'm saying? Everybody. So for me, I just feel like whatever happens, and the small man on feel it more than the big man, the big people. You know.
That's right, because if they do move to digital currency across the board, and there's a shift, are they going to give you dollar for dollar? Meaning, if you got $500 in your bank account right now, when they switch over to digital currency, are you going to have a $500 digital currency balance, or is it you going to take a loss? Or are they going to give you 50 cents on the dollar, which means now you had 500, now you only have 250 in what they call digital currency. So those are some questions that we have to ponder and think about when you saying leaving your money in the bank. You know what I'm saying? And like what I just read about that charge, they say, well, I guess I know that's for particular groups of individuals who sign up for different types of bank accounts, right? You have to have maintain a certain balance in that account. Say $2,500, you can't go below that, and if you go below that, they're gonna charge you. But then what if what happens to those bank accounts when it shifts over to digital currency? How much money are you going to have in your account to maintain this digital currency account? Then the same thing with the transaction fees. You're limited to how many transaction fees you can do. They say, you can only write 25 checks in a month's time. And if you go over that, they're going to charge you a fee that was on that list. So what happens when everything is digital currency? What happens to those accounts at that time? And how are they going to figure out? They probably already have the plan. We just don't know it yet. But how are we gonna know if we're getting, like you say, the fair shake or equal value for our money once this whole thing shifts over?
Because we have to remember that these people that's in higher places, that's running banks and corporations and what have you, they have spent millions and billions within the government in reference to politicians and lobbyists and whatnot, funding campaigns, putting money in their pockets. We recently had a situation with Clarence Thomas and his billionaire. High tycoon was just sending them wherever he wanted to go at, and he was like, Clarence Thomas was like, well, there's no rule. I say I can't take money from this person. But to make a long story short, what world we living in that we don't realize this is wrong, that you're a person of influence, that you sit in the highest court in the land, and you're taking money from a person that's a right-wing extremist and pushing political views that have strong influence in the conservative party to even do, and then you're conservative on top of that. It's no real transparency and accountability. And my thing is this, right? Not only is we facing the fact of banks stealing our money, banks gonna be protected by the government. You gotta remember, government do not do the work like talking about. They hire people to do it. The government hire private business to do it, so the banks gonna still be associated with that. Even if they make them out one bank, right? They're gonna still be associated. The government, just the overseer, supposed to be the elected overseer. They outsource the business to the general public. Why? To keep the economy going. You know what I'm saying? They say the government is the biggest spender, right? So they're gonna still be doing banks. The problem is this. Ramsey told one time, he said, United States is no more than like Africa. You know how a banana can be $1, and next day a banana can be $1,000 in Africa? Say the same thing over here in the United States. With the hyperinflation and what have you. It's not backed by nothing. If everybody say, give me whatever you owe, international companies come and say, give me what we owe, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna be asked out. But my point is, we're dealing with a larger problem. What if people was to say, well, look, we said 30 years we're gonna do this, and 30 years we're supposed to come get this and what have you. And what if the United States say, I refuse, I'm not giving y'all nothing and what have you? Then you're looking at a wall. Because everything they're doing, when you look at the bullying they're doing, right? And why they're trying to make sure Ukraine good over there in Russia, which I can't see them winning the war. You look at what's happening with China focusing on Taiwan, whatever. All these people in different regions support the interests, giving the spy intelligence, helping NATO and what have you. But in the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? These people are getting ready to face the inevitable, and war just based on the fact that the United States just chose to be a capitalist society that want to be all about big profits, right? And they go to countries like China, that's all about control and domination, and literally took over the manufacturing industry. You know what I'm saying? As we outsource different industries that was originally manufactured here for low cost. You know what I'm saying? So we're dealing with we're dealing with trickle effect of so many things that it's hard to really just focus on one thing, right? Because it's just so deep. So I know I went left with saying that, but we basically want y'all to know that banks are stealing from us, Banks are protected by the government. Things will change, like Cody was talking about. With digital currency, we do a lot of digital transactions where we don't know whether we using cash out, what have you. And it's basically you not having you. It's like you not having no physical cash to go hand in hand. By me putting money in Cody's hand, she give me back. Is me doing transfer, just push a button, add the amount and send it on out, right? But still, what is back behind? You know what I'm saying?
Nothing, absolutely nothing. So that's why I was saying that, how they're gonna determine how much digital currency you get for your greenback. So going back to those bank fees, we read one that was extremely interesting to me, the one that's called inactivity fees. So that basically saying that they're gonna charge you because you're just saving money. You're not using your money, so we're gonna just charge you. So that's stealing money from you, in my opinion. That is stealing your money, like, for real. Like, so you got a $500 savings account, and because you haven't accessed your account in 6 months, they're gonna charge you a free fee for just having your money sitting in that account. That's what inactivity fees are. And I think that that's absolutely crazy. I can understand them charging you a fee to replace a card that you lost. That's understandable. um I understand the transaction fees. If you sign up for a particular bank account and you say you're only going to do a certain amount of transactions a month, you signed up for that account, I can understand them charging you a fee if you go over that. But inactivity fee, when we're supposed to be a society that's saying we need to save money, how you going to save money if they steady taking money from you because you're not using your money? They don't want you to save money.
But this the problem too. Now I'm about to give a whole nother twist to it. They want your money to invest your money, right? And they only giving you pennies on a dollar, where they're making 2, 3, 4, 5, $10 off your dollar, right?
That's right.
So we have to understand why saving money is not an intelligent thing to do. If it's not for emergency expenses, and like Cody keeps saying, things gonna be digital. Eventually, it's gonna make sense. But you have people that's talking about it. We're not the only two. They can probably go way more deeper. That's familiar with the banking laws and this, that, and other. But I know one thing: it all stink. And knowing that it stink, we need to be definitely open and honest with ourselves about the investment choices we gotta make, the financial planning, and how intelligent we gotta be in approaching this. Because being emotional, getting upset, pointing fingers is not gonna change anything. We're gonna change your situation is you looking at your situation for what it is and making the right decisions.
I definitely would encourage everybody to, you know, scale back on your cash, your liquid cash. Like Major say, of course, keep 3 to 6 months amount of money in the bank or under your mattress for in case of emergencies, right? But but after you do that, have that money set aside, I think that it's very important that you invest in tangible, something that you can feel, something that you can actually see, because the petrodollar, fiat dollar, however you want to call it, is not going to be worth the dollar that the paper that is printed on here. But if you have some gold bars, if you have some silver, if you have some land, those are tangible items that's an investment that can take you through those rough spots and into the future. So if you don't use the gold bars, you pass them down to your children. You know what I mean? If you have land, you keep it in your family and help maintain generational wealth. So I would definitely say get your hands on some tangibles, invest in some other business that's sustainable or recession proof, right? Don't invest in a nightclub because shit, recession comes or another pandemic comes, then those places are going to be shut down, and then now you didn't lost your money on your investment because they can't make money. So that's why I say invest in recession proof companies if you want to go and invest in the business. I think the business investment that you can do right now is invest in yourself. Figure out how you can be an entrepreneur so that whichever way the wind blows, you and your family is good for here and in the future. That's generational wealth building.
So in closing, we just want y'all to know that financial planning, investing properly, and understanding what's going on around you is so important. If y'all have any questions about investing in gold, we have Clive Lindsay in the UK. He's a gold consultant. When anything about real estate, we have a Cody. She is a real estate broker. She deal with properties all the time. And any other question, even if you want to talk about starting a business, me and Cody both have businesses. Whatever we talk with you about that. And as for the land, Cody got land, and she's also into farming. So there is a plethora of things that we are involved with. We are doing, and we're here to help you all. So I don't want nobody ever feel like when they listen to us, they can't ask no questions or what have you. And if you have an ideal and investment that you want to share with us, that maybe Paul's been workable, we may even think about investing in you. So with that being said, leave comments, ask questions. This can't work. Major TV news, facts, and comments cannot work, cannot move forward without you being involved. Like and share the video. We say we down with the community. We say we want to help the community. We want to help each other. But sharing this video can help. Because if we change one person, we change the whole generation. Because we want to multiply. We want to take each one, teach one, and you pass it on and just go in a circle. So with that being said, I'm going to let Cody have a closing words, and then we're going to close this recording.
Well, Major, of course, I always want to chop it up with our people and give them the real and let them know what's coming down the pipeline. These topics are extremely important, especially, like I said, for your future. We got to stop thinking about the here and now and think about tomorrow. I know scripture said don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will come. But if you're living your life recklessly or frivolously, then your tomorrow is going to be just the same as today. So do positive changes in your life to improve your future and the future for your family. Always, generational wealth building should be number one on your priorities. And so I love you all with the love of Yahuwah, and we'll see you next time.
And I want to thank everybody viewing. Please support News, Facts, and Comments. Cody Speaks in Major TV YouTube platforms. We also have a website, newsfactsnc.net. Thank y'all so much for everything. Y'all stay focused, stay strong, and just be you. Peace.
Shalom.